Welcome everyone to another episode of the Gaby U show. So today I have an amazing guest, Allie Burch. And so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about her and then we'll dive into the questions. All right. So Allie Burch, as a woman, as a mother, she has worked very hard and have been on a mission since she was young. Mostly to give her kids a good, stable life, and second, to fulfill her own passions. She had her daughter at 17, and then she had two more kids by the age of 25. She graduated from high school with a GED, and then she went to massage school in her early 20s. And then she practiced for 5 years and decided that she needed more education after she got divorced. So from then on, she went to a community college, started in high school, math and English, and then she worked her way through nursing school. And her first job was an ICU nurse where she had 5 years of experience and then went back to school again to work on her bachelors and then got her master's. And then, well, she got a lot of stuff. She's going to school, girl. And then she started working in ICU as a nurse practitioner as well. So all this she was doing with having small kids and no support from any parental figures. So she has always had a love for holistic medicine and she knew she wanted to be a holistic nurse practitioner. But she went ahead to have that conventional medicine training. So after NP school, nurse practitioner school, she was hired as a hospitalist where she now has she has 6 years of experience in that area. She now have 3 years experience as a functional medicine nurse practitioner where she works with people one-on-one to get to the root cause of any of their nagging symptoms and help them to reverse chronic illness through advanced functional medicine testing, healing diets and protocols, and lifestyle changes. That is Allie Burch for you.
Wow.
Welcome, Allie Burch.
Oh, thanks, Gaby. It's amazing when you hear somebody else reflect your story back at you.
You start kind of like, thinking like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that so thank you so much for having me. This is such a pleasure to be here. And, it is, you forget what journey you have been on, and it's easy to get lost in the everyday, kind of grind of what we're doing in our professional lives and our personal lives. And so it's a really good, I think, practice to go back and have to write kind of your journey because, it is, when I look at my own story, I think, wow, how did I do all this?
How did you? And that is the thing, talking about, when we compare with other people, which is something I struggle with, and I know a lot of us struggle with, is like, don't be comparing with other people. Compare with your own self.
Yes.
Because then you can be able to see that you are actually moving. Because when you start comparing with other people, it feels like you are not moving. But when you compare with your own self, your 25-year-old self with your 40-year-old self, then you'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we underestimate what we can get done in 10 years. We want quick, we live in a culture where we want quick fixes.
Oh, yeah.
And I see this in my patients, both conventional and in my functional medicine practice. It takes a lot of intention and work to get to really where you want to be.
Exactly.
I think that's really just a life journey in general.
Yeah, you've got some journey there. So we are going to be diving in, I asked you, we're going to be asking a bunch of questions today. So the first thing, I call this like my icebreaker question, okay? So because I am somebody that, I love to cook, I love food. And I said, you know what, all my guests where I'm going to be asking them, what is their favorite food? So maybe I can go cook it too.
Yes.
So what is your favorite food?
That is a really tough question. I am a really big foodie,
Okay.
I love food. And my love for healthy food really came after I had my daughter at 17. I just looked at her and thought, oh my God, I need to feed this child who's now my responsibility, really good, healthy food. And so, I really, really love, so just for now, because it changed, right? Recently, I can't get enough of delicata squash. Do you ever eat that?
Delicado squash. Oh, okay.
It's like almost an oblong squash that's
Okay.
yellow with green stripes on it. And
Oh,
you can cut it in half, take the seeds out, put a little coconut oil or avocado oil,
oh,
roast it.
okay.
It is like candy.
Oh, girl.
I mean,
I'm gonna put that on my list now. Delicado. I've not heard of that kind of squash. That's
oh, it's so good. It's really good on salads. It's good with like even
mm.
with for breakfast with like eggs. I'll do some roasted
Oh.
vegetables with eggs. So it's funny because my patients ask me all the time, like, don't you crave sugar? And being a functional medicine practitioner,
Yeah.
we want people to get off sugar. And
Yes.
I say, no, I love sugar.
Yeah, it's a different form.
Right. And so it's
That kind of helps with that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Okay, so the next one I'm going to ask you is your favorite quotes. I love quotes. They have helped my life.
Me too.
So I have to ask you, what is your favorite?
Many posted in my office right now that you can see, but I also love quotes. I feel that, right? It creates inspiration. Oops. Sorry, my thing is popping up.
Okay.
It is, it creates inspiration in ourselves. And I think it helps ourselves step out of our mind. And one of my favorite quotes this year that I came across was through somebody called Peter Crone. He's the mind architect.
Oh, okay.
It's a great quote. I don't know if it's his original quote or he is quoting somebody else, but it is, who would you be and what becomes available in the absence of all your concerns?
Oh.
And I love that quote. Again, who would you be and what becomes available in the absence of your concerns? And, I think it helps for me. It like helps me take a step back to say, all right, what is all the stuff that is going on in my own head that is taking up too much room, and how can I just move that aside to, really become available in myself? And I think even a lot about how I got to where I am today.
Yeah, talking about comparison.
I think that's a really good practice. Kind of let go of your stressors and be present in the moment, really. And I love that quote.
Okay,
I
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, quotes make us it just bring us back, like reminders, like, okay, especially when we're down, we need all these quotes. And girl, it has helped me so much. Yeah, I
one more.
Love
Can I tell you my other favorite?
Yeah, tell me another one.
This is also another Peter Crone. I'm on a Peter Crone kick.
Oh, okay.
Don't know him. He's a great person to follow. And really, for me, it's like so much is about mindset, right?
Yes.
I'm sure we'll dig into this a little bit. But another quote that I have on right here on my little sticky note is, what happened and couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. And it's like and I see this in myself, in my patients, in my family. It's like, right, people can get stuck in something that happened in the past. And it's like, you really don't have control over that, and I think it takes up a lot of wasted time to say, okay, it's acceptance, it is.
So you can move on.
And moving forward,
Instead of getting, that's a good one. Yeah, girl,
yeah.
I'm getting this noted here. Add to my other box of quotes. Awesome. All right. Okay, so the question I'm going to start out asking you is, I want you to just dive in right in there. So I want you to share with me key things that has happened and that has, I would say, shaped you to be the woman you are today. I want you to just go in, tell me about your struggles, your victories. Was it in health? Was it in business? Your faith to have shaped you to be this woman today?
Yeah, that's a big question. I would say, it is, obviously, our childhood shapes us in a lot of ways. and I'm adopted, and I had wonderful from a very
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
and I always wonder how that has shaped me in some way. And I have wonderful parents. I have a sister who's also adopted. Another bigger story, I just found my birth family.
That's what I was going to ask you that. Did you ever find your birth family? Well, here you go.
Yes, actually this year. Yep.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a whole, podcast in itself.
Yeah.
And we won't go too much into it, but I have 5 full siblings, and I'm the oldest of 5.
Really?
So, yeah, isn't that amazing?
So both parents, you found?
Both parents.
Oh.
Yep. And so, I've always known I was adopted. And since a young age, my mother always told me, I think a part of so much of who I am is what I learned really from my mom. She was always so grateful, like, just to be able to have kids, adopt kids.
Yes.
And was always supportive of how I felt as an adoptive person. And I think I've learned, and then kind of fast forwarding many years, and I've always had peace around my adoption.
Yes.
And I think it really had to do, right, with how she responded to it, right? And many years later, I had a child at 17, and my mother, who, she wasn't thrilled that I was having but there was no judgment. She completely supported me 100%.
Yeah.
And I really learned how to be a mother, from her, and her, just kindness and compassion. And here I am having this baby at 17, and it really obviously changed my life.
Oh, yeah.
And probably for the best, honestly. I was having a hard time as a teenager, and I would say that was a huge defining moment for me in choosing. And it's interesting because just recently I've been doing a lot of work around identity, habit training, and intention. And in that moment, I chose to be a good mother, and I've been reflecting on this through some other training work I've been doing professionally, but it made me kind of go back to this time and think, what? That was a real defining moment for me. And then fast forward a couple years, I met somebody, we got married, and we had 2 boys. And so by the age of 25, I had 3 kids.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out. And unfortunately, he was a very unhealthy individual, and it was a very stressful time. However, I think I'm the kind of person, and I think I've been like this since I was little, that have always really fought for being happy, and really going after what I want.
Yes.
And so that really started with, I loved integrative medicine, which really had to do with having kids and not really wanting to give them medications, or, what does it mean to give a kid fluoride? Like, what do the studies show on that? What should I be feeding these kids that will really optimize their body? Do I just want to throw antibiotics for something that's a cold? So I started asking all these questions and becoming curious, and I really wanted more training. So then I went to massage school, and that was another defining moment in my life where it introduced me to the kind of integrative medicine arts. And I went to one of the best massage schools in the country at the time. And it was such an amazing experience. I could even say today that everybody, the school's not open anymore, but I always said everybody, whether you want to be a massage therapist or not, should go to the school, because it was really a spiritual journey in so many sense of becoming connected to myself.
Yes.
Learning how to love myself. And so anyway, I had a wonderful experience. I practiced massage therapy for 5 years and ran my own business. And, this is in my mid-20s at that time.
Wow.
And that was also another defining moment where, I think I've learned to realize that, I think a part of it is having confidence in yourself.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Oh,
right?
yeah. Tell me about that.
So I think it's really, I think I had confidence in myself to just put myself out there and be vulnerable while doing that, but
Yes.
in the long run, it was very hard to do that. And I did go back to school, and it was very intimidating because I had graduated with my GED. I took the community college course. I was in not basic. It was, high school, math, and English. So I started at the very bottom, and I just thought, you know what, whatever it takes, I'm going to get there. At that time when I started, I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. And my mom even now tells me that when I told her that, she was like, oh, okay. Like, how are you going to do that?
Do this, yeah.
So I think that so much of, getting there was believing that I could do it, and it wasn't easy. It absolutely wasn't easy. I mean, I applied for scholarships. I worked through, things that don't feel good, like going and applying for Section 8 so I could go to school and be camps, and never in the moment, it's like I made a decision to use that as a bridge to get, and so now when I look back, I think, oh my God, I actually did it. I got a great job. It was very important to me too, to have conventional medicine training. I knew I wanted to be an integrative practitioner, but I wanted conventional training because I think we can get in trouble when we're just so alternative and we don't understand that other side, right? It's really about blending the two. So I have many defining moments of kind of like what has, spurred me to keep going. But I think naturally I am, I'm curious.
You're a fighter.
I'm a fighter, right? And I think at the core of that, I wanted to give my kids a good life.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that, I didn't want to be poor forever. I wanted to give my kids a good life. I wanted to be a good example for them.
Yes.
And I wanted to do what I love, and so now I'm at that place in the last several years where it's like, wow, I'm actually really doing exactly what I love. And, going back to like intention is, I think that intention is so important, and so many people kind of live their lives, it's not about being perfect, but it's like so many people live their lives just doing, right, kind of
just and refining as you go. You do it and refine, because if you don't do it, you don't know how to refine it. right. And I think so I could go on and on, but it's a great amazing,
it's a great question.
Wow. So that is, some of the things you were just talking, you talk about that confidence thing. It's interesting that yesterday, when I was talking with my nursing student, because I have the nursing students that I work with, and it was their last day, I was doing their evaluation, and this is the word I started using on them, that I was talking to them about confidence, that you need to have a way to increase your confidence, and you are much better than you think. Because I have some of my students, they did amazingly well, and when I show them their grade, they were surprised, like, oh, I'm like, you are much better than you think. You just need to have that confidence that you are capable of being a good nurse. Because when you have that confidence in you, I mean, it's not like having ego. There's a lot, saying, oh, I know everything, I don't want to. Not being super overconfident, but having that confidence that I am capable of doing this, I have the training, I can do it. It gives you that strength to be able to now be able to meet more goals. But when you start thinking like, build your self-esteem.
I had you as a mentor, right? So for you to tell somebody that, like, I had great mentors, so I don't take that for granted, because I think that it reminds us to continue to give compliments, like, just like you did with your nursing students. That is so huge. That builds somebody's confidence.
Oh, yes.
And it's hard to know. And I think, right, medicine is broad, there's so much to learn. And so it's really hard starting out at that new place, whatever that new job is, or career in the medicine field. It feels very overwhelming. And so,
talk about the imposter syndrome.
Yes, having good mentors and having good teachers. And I think for me, that's taught me to be a good mentor and teacher.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a key thing too. Having good mentors along the way to build you up, is something that I know it has helped me. I know, it's helped you. You have to have those good mentors. And that's one thing I tell some of the other students that, because I have both levels, I have the final year and the third semester. And the final year students, I tell them that your first job, look out for all the nurses around, find somebody to be your mentor. You're going to have those hard times that you need that mentor to keep you going. Look for that person. There will be one. You will find them. And that's what it applies to everything in our lives, whatever we're trying to do. Is it business? Is it health? Or just surviving this life as a woman? We need those people.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I recently did a habit coaching training, and because I just can't stop learning.
Yeah, girl, we need to.
Something, it was through BJ Fogg. He's a behavioral scientist at Stanford. He wrote the book Tiny Habits, but he also does a coaching training. And he said something in his book and in the training that at first I kind of had I had to pause. And he said, when we're trying to change a new behavior or habit, we have to take on a new identity. And I thought, okay, I have to think about that. Then I thought, oh my God, it's so right on, because it's like I thought about when I was a brand new mother, when I wanted to be a massage therapist, when I wanted to be a nurse. You take on that identity, right? And I think it is so true, right? We could do this in almost in every aspect. And I actually use this now with my functional medicine clients, where it's like, you can be the kind, like, do you want to be the kind of person who eats fast food? And I say that very carefully, because there's it's not about being perfect or judgment, but we can say, I'm not
striving towards it. Always
I'm the kind of person who eats a healthy diet, right? I'm the kind of person. So you're actually creating this identity that, and I thought, wow, that's really powerful. And I saw the reflection in my own path for the past 25 years of really saying, I want to be a good mother. That's my identity.
Yes.
I want to have a loving family. I don't want to be in a bad relationship. And so that is part of our identity. And so I really do work with people in the sense of mindset and what you want. And it's okay to feel like it's out of reach, but if you kind of focus on that, you will get there.
Yes, absolutely. That is powerful. Mindset is everything. I say mindset, because there are so many things we can do when we change our mindset. Because sometimes, you see some people doing some things, making waves in the world and all that. And you look at them, you look at their story, and then you look like, wait a minute. Sometimes you feel like you are more qualified than those people. But what makes you different with them is probably their mindset. They just go for it. Like, hey, I am the best. I'm going to do it. And then you are there in your home and you're like, oh my goodness, But yeah, it's powerful. Mindset.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Wow, that is good. So I would just say, okay, so where is one thing you can just say, what are you most proud of today as a woman? Probably are proud of many things, but just one thing that's you can just like,
I mean, I would
wake you in the night and say, hey, Allie, what are you proud of? You can.
I'm really proud of my kids, and as me being a mother comes first in my life. And I now have kids who are all adults, which is
I think one of your kids is just got engaged, right?
Engaged.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's my oldest. She's 26, and I have two boys who are 22 and 19. And they are just they are good humans. I've raised good humans, and I say I think you can be a great parent and have challenging kids, right?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we don't have a lot of power over, and it's nothing that we did if our child is depressed.
Yeah, you'd be like, what did I do wrong?
Right. And, so I don't take it for granted at all. But I am just so proud of my kids and just grateful that they're just happy humans. They're
Yes.
smart and healthy and they love each other. They have a good relationship. And
Oh.
I have individually with each of them, I have a wonderful relationship. And so I just feel very lucky, and I don't take it
Yes.
for granted. So I would say that is the number one thing that I now, because right when your kids are little and things are crazy and
Oh my, you're like, how am I going to survive all these things?
and it's hard. It is hard to be a parent. And I just think about all those parents right now who through the pandemic and this in COVID that are at home with their kids and they're homeschooling and they're working. And I think
Yeah. You talking about me?
number one, thank God my kids aren't little. No,
They're not going through this thing.
it is. I just have so much compassion and love for the people who are struggling,
It is. It's not easy, I'm telling you. It's like we the parents, we probably need therapy too.
Right. I mean, it is right. In some aspect, there is this, beautiful thing that has happened during the pandemic to bring, it's brought our own family when the kids have come home and we're stuck and we're playing games and we're bored.
Yes.
Right. It slowed things down. But I think this is just so, there's so much trauma on families and young kids going through this and trying to navigate. We don't know, right? We're just trying to navigate.
Yeah. It's been, yeah, there is the pandemic has brought the good, bad, and ugly of it. So it's all around, and
I hope we can move out of this with, hopefully learning some good with, shifting our family dynamic to, our community dynamic.
Yes.
It's a stressful time.
Yeah. I mean, it's, as I say, it's a good, bad, and ugly. And it's just to kind of suck in the good things that you can see about this situation, because many businesses have sprung up from it. People have now realized like, okay, they need to slow down and spend more time with the family that they didn't used to do before. Some parents now their children are seeing them more now because they are working from home. So, it's kind of up and down.
Balancing like homeschooling your kids, I mean, even if you're not homeschooling, it's like I've talked to many parents who, are just right because they're home and they're much more involved in the school.
Yes.
These kids who have to engage through a computer screen, like it's just not going to work for everybody.
It's not. It's a hard time. It's not easy. We're trying to make best use of it, and hopefully we'll see how the new year comes in, and
exactly.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so what is one encouraging word that you want to give your listeners today? Just one encouraging word to this woman that's listening.
Just one word? Can it be like a sentence?
Well, it can be a word, but like a sentence.
So I would say, don't just survive, thrive. And it's something that I try again.
Speaking my language.
Yeah. Going back to mindset, right? It is, I've worked one-on-one with people for a long time, and so many people are just surviving and we feel like we're just treading water.
Yeah.
In all areas of our life. And a lot of times, especially with women and mothers, we put ourselves last, right? It is, I remember what it's like to have 3 kids, have a job, be in school, have multiple sports to be to in one day, it is, but there are things that, if we don't put ourselves first in some aspect and take care of ourselves, it's, mentally, physically, spiritually, we're just not going to be able to show up. And
yes.
I work with people on this other side who are burned out. They are unhealthy. They can even be in their 20s with rheumatoid arthritis 20-year-olds with rheumatoid arthritis. Are you kidding me? And lupus. And right, this is a consequence of our culture.
Yes.
And I could talk just an hour on that, but I just encourage people to really think about, what does it mean to thrive? That's going to be different for everybody.
Yes.
But the foundation, as we know in functional medicine, really is taking care of ourselves. And
Mhm.
most chronic illnesses, nagging symptoms, even depression, anxiety is
Yes.
related to epigenetics. So what we're
Mhm.
exposed to, are we not sleeping? Are we drinking too much? Are we,
Yes.
the average, right? I would say the average American woman is coffee. So caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Caffeine, under exercising, over exercising,
Yes.
you know, un, you know, not intentionally under eating, right? Most people
Mm.
aren't eating enough macro and micronutrients.
Because they want to
And
fast,
then,
fast, fast,
right,
busy
and
work.
then living on
Hmm.
living on sugar and carbs because we crash, and then we need more sugar and
Okay.
carbs.
And the circle.
And then at night, right, we need alcohol, we need wine or a drink.
To wind down.
And so I know, but it is such the classic, and we don't
Mm.
even realize that we're stuck in this vicious cycle, and then we feel terrible.
Mm.
So, what you and I do in our functional medicine practices, we peel back those layers.
Yes.
We do a lot of education. This was never taught to us.
Mm-mm.
And
Yep.
so, yeah, so I would say, don't just survive, but thrive, and figure out what that means for you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you saying that, I have this, I would say it's a phrase or a quote to say, you cannot pour out from an empty cup, so
Mhm.
if you want to
Yes.
help people, you want to, you know, you
Show
need
up for
to,
your kids, for your
yes, you
partner,
have to,
for your
which is
job.
talk about self-care too, you
Yes.
have to, these are all linking to all these things you're saying, you got to take care of yourself so that you can help the other people around you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and self-care is not selfish, because
yeah.
that's the thing sometimes we mothers, we think.
Patients. Yeah. I do have patients who feel that self-care is selfish. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
that before. And
Mm.
I slowly just chip away at the and what happens is they don't even realize how tightly wound they are, right?
Mm.
Um, and what the other thing I hear from women too is they don't have motivation or willpower. And I say, well, no, you do, because you're here, you're coming to see me, you're
Yeah.
happy. And I think that most
Mm.
women are thinking about these things. They might just not have the tools. And
Yes.
so, it's about redesigning the environment. And what happens is we get stuck in this mindset of, I'm not good enough. I don't have willpower. I don't have motivation. I keep doing this. I keep doing
Mm.
that, right? I can't break that cycle.
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of work around redesigning the environment,
Yes.
which I think takes away the blame.
Mm. Mm-hmm. That's, I mean, absolutely. So
Mhm.
talking about that, you talk about this, your prayers. So that was the next thing I was going to ask you. That's
Oh,
what are the things you're working on right now? Do you have
yes,
anything
yeah.
that you like
So,
us?
I have so many things that so I have my own virtual
Mm.
functional medicine practice where I coach people one-on-one. I do kind of short visits with people, meaning like a la carte. I'll see you for a case review, and then we'll follow up as needed. I also do longer programs. I love my 6-month signature program, which, right, it takes time to make these changes. And
Yes.
so I love working with people long term, because that's where you see
Mhm.
magic happen.
Yes.
Really work as more of a health consultant coach. I offer functional medicine testing. So anything from testing the gut microbiome to hormones to a deep nutritional dive. And these give some, it's important to see what's going on under the
Mm.
hood.
Yes.
It gives people, for me, I always talk about, we're really good about lifespan, right?
Yes.
We have antibiotics, we have surgeries, that is increasing your lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Belts, right? But what about health span, right?
Yes.
So health span is we want to feel good until we die. We want to
Mhm.
hopefully work till we're like 90, maybe
Oh, yeah. Quality life,
quality of life. And
longevity and quality.
so, right. So I focus a lot on quality. Yes.
Mhm.
And the other project that I'm working on, I'm creating some courses right now. This is new for me. I'm still in the kind of production mode. And my first course will be all about setting yourself up in the kitchen for
Mm.
basically sustainable success.
Yes.
It's like the number one thing I hear, especially women tell me, they're not connected to their kitchen. They haven't
Oh,
had a
yes.
relationship with their kitchen. They don't know what to cook. And so I really help break that all down, along with how do we create a non-toxic kitchen.
Very useful.
And again, going back to kind of how do we have sustainable health? One of the biggest foundations is, and you are a good person for this, because you know this, you have your cooking class, and right, you're very passionate about this as well. And it doesn't need to be hard. You know, I don't have the time. And I say, well, if I have the time, you have the time. And it doesn't need to be hard. But again, going back to intention, right? What do we want? Things don't magically happen overnight. We have to have intention. And put that intention into action. And so in a very fun, playful way, I hope that I can deliver a great course to help people create that foundation. And
that is awesome. Well, women, we need that. I mean, I have to buy the course too. I know I have my own setup. I have to get Allie's course too. Like, okay.
Well, maybe you could come on as a guest, you know.
Yes.
You know, because it is like, right, it is so fun to be in the kitchen, you know.
Girl, that's where my therapy zone.
Wait, I take that back. Okay. Not always.
Not always. For
like,
me, it is.
It's a chore, right? It is a chore sometimes. We get home at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. wants to cook. But again, if you put some time, you know, into batch cooking or not, I don't even do a ton of batch cooking. But I know what can be easy, quick, and healthy. So when I am working those long days, it doesn't take, you know, 4 hours. It's not expensive, extravagant.
It's what you put in your pantry too, how to stock your pantry.
So a lot of what I'll do is a kitchen clean out, and then how to stock. And so it's really, again, that redesign and setting yourself up for success. So it, you know, we think in medicine that, well, in healthcare and wellness, and that, you know, I just hear so many women say, I just don't have the motivation. And motivation is one piece of behavior change, but it's the piece that is like the friend you're not going to call that you need to pick you up on time if they're always late, right? This wavering thing that you need to have the motivation to make the habit change, but it's not reliable. What is redesigning, right? Set yourself up. So that will be a base of my course, along with kitchen clean out and pantry setup, and, you know, environmentally non-toxic, you know, not toxin-free kitchen. It's not about being perfect, but if we do this most of the time, then you'll think things will change. I can't tell you what I see, and I'm sure Gaby, you too. Just diet alone, I've seen women lose 30 or 40 pounds, their rheumatoid arthritis goes away, their lupus symptoms go away, Hashimoto's gets better. They don't do anything else but change their diet.
And it's amazing. And I don't think people realize that when I tell them, like when I talk to some clients or some people that are potential clients, and I say, you know, have we talked about the food? And, no, it's not the food. I'm like, why do you think it's not the diet? You do, it's something you do every day.
Because our lovely, you know, I love my conventional medicine colleagues, but they don't have, we're not hearing this from our doctors.
No, we're not.
Something is, you know, we send our kids to school and they're not, you know, you go to right, they're not getting good food in their school. You go to the hospital and it's like, you know, I've worked in the hospital for many years.
You know, the food's there.
It makes me want to die inside, you know. Because, and I'm seeing, you know, our lovely physicians lounge has Pop-Tarts and Fruit Loops.
Donuts.
And it's like, there's a disconnect, right? And so, so there's a lot of confusion around.
There is a lot of.
We're really not getting it. So what I love about functional medicine is it's shaking up healthcare. It is changing the way that we view you know, all these things that sleep, stress, nutrition. I mean, these are things we have a lot of research on. So I find the field, I just feel so blessed to be in a field that excites me, that I believe in. That I'm passionate. I could talk, obviously here I'm just talking, you know, I could talk for so long.
Because, you know, we're so passionate, because even it's not just even seeing our patient, we see it in our own self. You feel so good, you know. I mean, we are in our 40s, but you can tell the difference that And
so really a lot of it, I hacked my own health, as we say. I have, I look very healthy. I've always been a healthy weight,
Yes.
but I have gestational diabetes.
Wow.
I figured out years later that I had insulin resistance.
Wow.
And I have worked on my stress and my diet. And so, and I used to have migraines all the time. I had SIBO. I mean, I have, through this model, completely 360'd my health, where
Look at
now I
that.
have tons of energy. I sleep well. I don't have it.
See, that's where the passion come from. You know how it is. That's why you want to give.
I
This
feel
is
good.
how both of us, we've gone through this transformational health. And that's why we're so passionate to talk about it. And it's like, what are these ladies talking about? Because we know this is not textbook. We know how it is,
I mean, we could take almost any topic or, medical topic, chronic illness, nagging symptom, even talking about like PMS. I used to have terrible PMS. Through my changes, I have no PMS,
Wow.
and I work with a lot of women around this as well. But again, we go to our conventional doctors and we're told, oh, I have a magic cure. Here's your birth control pill and you have acne. So it's a win-win.
So it's like, okay, this one.
There's this disconnect, but I really do feel that we are in a movement right now. And I have, so for 26 years, I've really been paying attention, to this wellness world, I mean, you didn't used to be able to buy organic food in 1996. I mean, you could, but it was like, you're going in, the place that you're going to is like, very small health food store, or you're getting it from local farmers. And now we have
an abundance. So many, no excuse now.
I mean, I think it's a really exciting time.
Yes, it's so much easy now. So much easy. Wow, awesome.
This is so fun.
Yeah. So how can people connect with you? Like they want to know more about you. Where are you always hanging out? Or
so I have a website, which is just my name. It's www.allieburch, so ALLIEBURCH.com. And that has some information about me and what I offer, links to my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook. My Instagram is Allie, ALLIE.Burch, BURCH. I tend to lean towards Instagram. I do like Facebook, and I'll run some groups through Facebook. So reach out, send me some messages. I love connecting with people.
Yes, and all this information for the view,
giving people value.
Yes. So all these things, I'm going to put it on the show notes so that you guys can see that. So if you're on podcast, I'll put it in the show notes, and if it's on YouTube, you see it under the descriptions of all these connections we have talked today. And I know you have a freebie on your website too. So if anybody goes there, they will see that. So we're going to put
stress naturally.
Okay.
Since we all could use some work in that area.
Yes. So I'm going to put all that on the notes so that you guys can, get that. This is awesome. I know we could talk like all day today. Thank you so much, Allie, for coming to this show. And this ends the episode today. All right.
Thanks, Gaby.
Okay.